Hi, and welcome back to the Busy Mrs. YouTube channel. My name's Rebecca, and this channel is all about budgeting, saving money, couponing, cash stuffing, and all that fun stuff. So if any of that sounds interesting, I really hope that you join our journey and subscribe, like this video. Thank you for clicking on this video. Comment, interact. I would love to interact with you and comment back. So today's video is going to be what I'm calling a weekly check-in. So I budget twice a month, one for each paycheck that we receive. And so halfway through each pay period, which is about every week, I go through and kind of see where I'm at in each category. All right. And I've talked a little bit already about variable categories like groceries and gas and fun, miscellaneous, etc. So I add that up, and that goes along with my cash envelopes. However, I also I'm going to be adding up my other categories like utilities, subscriptions, car purchases, etc. Okay. And I don't consider most of that to be variable because most of those categories are made up of bills, and those are usually pretty much the same every month. There's some variety depending on like our power, our electric bill might be a little bit different each month. But overall it's about the same. So I don't call those variable. We call those they're just extra categories. But I go ahead and total them up each week. And part of that is because at the end of the month in the Budget Mom, sorry about that, had a little camera difficulty. So in the back of each month, there's a Where Did My Money Go worksheets, and this is a part of the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. And we can take all of the different categories that we have throughout the year, not just the variable ones. We'll take all of the categories, what we budgeted, how much we spent, the difference, and then how much each category is of our total income. There are a couple other Where Did My Money Go worksheets, and we'll get into those in another video. But then you take the information from that, and then there's actually a yearly spread at the front. Okay, so the great thing about this yearly spread is when I start budgeting for next year, I can go back and see, one of these months was really, really high. Let's see, January, we spent $787 on a car, but in February, we only paid $421. What was the difference? Then I'll go back to that monthly spreadsheet and figure out where the difference was. So this is going to really help me plan and budget for things for next year. I'm really excited about this information. This is part of why we do our budget check-ins. One, to make sure that we're on track for our variable spending, and two, to help at the end of the month, it'll be easier to add up all of our other categories if we've got it sectioned off by week. So we're going to start and just go down this list, and I'm going to speed up different parts so it doesn't take too long. We're going to start with groceries. $209 for groceries. Next is going to be the fun category, which is just one, so that's really easy. Next, we're going to do miscellaneous. Okay, $626. This does include our daycare payment for the month, which is why it's looks really, really high. Next is professional, which so far has only been $2. This is for listing Etsy items, or listing items in my Etsy shop. Next is car, which so far has only been our car wash subscription. Next, we're going to do gas. So I don't know where you are tuning in from. Gas for $143 in the first week is really not too bad. At least for, I'm sure you know, the gas prices have been crazy. I was super excited when I filled up the other day. This was $49 for the whole tank, because I got it for $3, which is crazy to think that that is a good deal. But for right now, that is the lowest that I've gotten it in months and months and months. So that was really exciting. Tell me where in the country you live and what your gas prices are. I live in Louisiana, and so sometimes our gas prices are a little bit lower than elsewhere, but $3 is still real high for where I live. All right, next we're gonna do utilities, which not many of our utilities come out in the first week. Oh, there's one. Two. Oh, you know what? I realized I forgot this professional. My husband's Microsoft Office updated or subscription renewed, and I forgot to budget for it. So we'll have to figure that out, but no, 101. Next we're gonna do eating out. Let me add that up one more time. All right, next we're gonna do household. Next we're gonna do subscriptions. Okay, 20 for that. I am pregnant and due October 4th, so we've started to pick up some baby things. We have a lot left over from my son, so we're just starting to pick up a few things that we want to add to his room. And then we have an investment. Automatic draft comes out and goes to the Acorn app. That comes out once a month. It's just 20 bucks a month, but it's what we can do for now, and every little bit counts, I think. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take out my cash envelopes, and I'm gonna take what my total for each variable category, what I budgeted and how much I have left. So that kind of helps me know what I have left to spend for this upcoming week. Okay, so that was taking way too long to do on camera, so I went ahead and took each variable category and wrote them out, what I budgeted, and then how much I spent. Now, I did notice I had a mistake in my son's category, so his total I fixed to $633, but we're gonna take out the price of daycare because that's what we consider a bill, and the rest would be his variable amount was $55. Because he's got some things that come out monthly like daycare, but then he does get a little bit of a variable category as well. Okay, so we're gonna go through each category now and figure out how much we have left for to get us to the next paycheck. So our next pay period starts on the 16th of the month. A couple things we're already gonna be over on, but sometimes that happens, and we'll just have to figure it out as we go. So household, we have 15 left. Eating out, we have 39 left. Groceries, we have 91 left. Fun, we should have 9 left. Miscellaneous is already over budget, so we are negative 36. Which means we should try not to spend any more if we can here. we are over budget in my son's category because I forgot he needed sheets for his new bed. So I had to buy him sheets and a few other things. So this is also over. So we're going to try not to spend anything else on him this week if we can avoid it. Obviously, if something really important comes up, we're going to spend it because he's our son and he needs things when they come up. But hopefully we can wait till the next paycheck. All right, gas, we have $207 left. Personal, we have $95 left because we haven't spent anything in that category yet. And that will be spent tomorrow because we're going to get haircuts tomorrow. And then professional, because of the unexpected purchase of the subscription renewal, we are over budget in this category too. So at the end of the month, whenever we get through, we have all of our purchases and expenses for the whole month. I'll go over like a recap at the end of the month and let you know how I handle when we go over budget in categories. Because I know it seems a little scary to go over budget. But if we can stay under on a few categories, then it does end up evening out. I also budget for the worst case scenario pay-wise. So I kind of underestimate what I'm going to make so that if I go over in a few categories that there's a little bit of a buffer there. So anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a video a little bit later in the month. Okay, so now we're going to get out my cash envelopes and we are going to cross-reference my cash envelopes with what we have left. Okay. So I said this in my last video, but I wanted just to say it again in case you missed my last one. I encourage you to go check it out. However, if you missed it, I just wanted to say that I do not carry all of my cash envelopes all the time. I don't like to have that much cash. So I only carry the categories that I know that I need that day. And then one of the categories that I usually keep with me is miscellaneous. It's empty right now, so I don't have it in here. But that helps cover anything else. And then if I end up in a bind, like if I end up stopping for groceries and I don't have my grocery category, I will either pay for it out of miscellaneous and then pay it back with my grocery money, or I will put it on the credit card and then pull the money out of my envelope later. So to check out our envelopes that are over budget, I've taken out miscellaneous and didn't put it back in for this video purposes. So miscellaneous is empty. Charles Anthony is empty. And although this says I have $39 left in eating out, I did actually spend the rest of this today. So I went ahead and pulled that out as well. Okay, so what's left is we have groceries. We should have $91 left in here. We have 50, 70, 91 left in groceries. So that is accurate. Next, we have household. Household has 15 left. That is accurate. Personal should have 95 because I haven't spent anything. So we have 50, 70, 90, 95. Like I said, we'll be spending that tomorrow on our haircuts. Next, we should have $9 left in fun. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then this envelope is when I can make it to the bank. Anything that I've pulled out of my cash envelope from a credit card purchase or whatnot goes in here and I turn it in to go to the bank. Okay. Now the category that we didn't do on here was gas, because my gas envelope is what I call like a digital envelope. I just keep my gas budget in my bank account and I put those gas purchases on the credit card once we can earn points for them. However, but the other reason is, so we earn points, but we also almost always pay at the pump. So it doesn't make sense to have cash for gas, especially because my husband buys gas and I buy gas, and so it's just easier. We both pay with a credit card and then I just log those purchases at home and keep track of it on our tracker. Now, the one thing that I have not talked about yet, don't know if you noticed, but I do want to take a second and talk about this because not everybody knows what it is. So here I have a category called tithing. If you grew up in church, you might have heard of this word. So basically, my tithe every month is the money that I give to my church. We go by a 10% rule. There's scripture about tithing and how it's supposed to be about 10%. Now, we've been working up to this because it's kind of a sticker shock when you first start tithing to have 10% of your income just be automatically put towards something. So we kind of have been building up to tithe regularly on and off over the years, but recently really started back at it this year. And so we started around 3% in January, and we've been slowly building it up. And this month we finally hit 10% tithing to our church. So what I end up doing is at the end of a pay period, if I have a bunch of money that's going to go to the bank in my back to bank envelope in my wallet, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put out what I'm going to tithe for the next month, for the next pay period in cash, put it in here. And that's what I give to my church instead of depositing it and then writing a check for my tithe. It just seems like a lot of back and forth. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about tithing, you're welcome to ask them in the comments. I'd be happy to share what I know. It's just something that my husband and I believe in. And so I did want to share that because I hadn't talked about that anywhere else in the video. Okay, so that will be the end of my weekly check-in. All of my envelopes in my wallet are up to date. We've got an okay amount left for the next week. We've started school, so we're going to be super busy anyway. So I'm not super worried about the amounts that we have left. We have gone over in eating out. However, I normally budget more than this for eating out in a pay period, and I budgeted less just because we started paying for daycare again this month. And I don't think this is going to be very realistic for right now. I think I need to take groceries and put the a little bit less in groceries and a little bit more in eating out, just because the start of school is crazy. My husband is a band director, a high school band director, so he's super busy with marching band. I'm a band director at a middle school, plus I'm pregnant, plus my toddler's in daycare. It's just crazy time. So I think we're gonna have to up that budget a little bit, and you know what, that's okay for right now. Everything comes and goes in a season. All right, guys, that's enough rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, again, I'd like to ask you to like it, leave me a comment. Love to hear any questions that you have. Tell me where you're at and tell me what gas prices are where you are. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And I would love for you to join us on this journey. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.